10% of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Karl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Karl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Karl way.
Experience the world's largest sports book at your fingertips.
I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor and owner of Circa Sports. We built this platform for bettors that want high limits and total transparency.
Featuring high limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional live customer service when you need it.
Hi, how may I help you today?
Download your new bookie today and start betting like a pro.
Circa Sports.
What's up? It is game day. Iowa State and Colorado about ready to get after it at Hilton Coliseum. My name is Chris Williams, joined on your Karl Chevrolet pregame show here in the Northwest Bank Studios. Cyclones taking on a Colorado team that is kind of in it right now as far as their season goes. Started off the Big 12 season with a surprising 2-0 start, and the Buffaloes have struggled ever since. We'll break it all down for you. Want to remind you, if you're going to bet on tonight's game, do it with our friends at Circa Sports Iowa. You saw their ad as we got into this. Great friends of the program. Shout out to Mr. Stevens and company for supporting us here at Cyclone Fanatic. And I use their app all the time. It's so much better than it was when they first came out in the market. So get that downloaded and enjoy it responsibly today. We are, again, in the Northwest Bank Studios. Jake Brend. Iowa State is kind of in a different spot than Colorado right now. So the Cyclones had lost 2 in a row, but they bounced back in a marvelous fashion. So the Buffs have lost 5 in a row, and they come into tonight's game a 17.5-point underdog. At least it was when we recorded this. And this is one of those games you don't want to get too cocky. Anything can happen. The old saying, that's why they play the games. But I would be really surprised with anything other than a double-digit win for Iowa State tonight.
Absolutely. The talent gap is going to show off. I think Colorado's a unique team in the sense that they weren't good last year. And typically in today's college basketball, if a team's not good, they lose everybody. Everybody like either transfers down, their best players go up, but they kept most of their players. They all got a year older, got better, and they've added some young talent. So they're talented. They're just not at the level that Iowa State is, and I think they're well coached. There's just a bit of a gap there. So I think there's a reason Iowa State's favored by 17.5 points. They should be. And I think it's fair to expect them to be in that realm, especially they've had 3 days of practice. You just don't get that a lot in the Big 12 season. They had Sunday off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday practices. That's pretty rare. I think that'll be good for Iowa State.
I agree. And then next week is one of the rare weeks where Iowa State doesn't have a game during the week.
I know, it's weird.
I think it's the only time, which is, I think, going to be a really good thing for this team heading into the slog of its schedule that really kind of ramps up on Tuesday the 10th with that road trip to TCU. But this is about the Iowa State-Colorado matchup tonight. And I'm glad to have you here. So I watched Colorado recently when they hosted Kansas, and it kind of felt like, to me, it was last stand for them. Like, if they could win that game, it would get them back I think it would have gotten them to even. They would have gotten, I think, their first quad one win, and they would have had more. But this kind of feels like a dead man walking right now. I don't exactly know the Tab Boyle situation. It feels like if they wanted to get rid of him, they probably would have done it by now if they would have really. But this is they're just not a very good basketball team. I don't know how else to analyze this, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky when you do what we do. How do you make this thing interesting without just picking a 20-point victory? But that's kind of what I'm doing tonight. You've watched Colorado more than I have. Does anything on this roster give you any hesitation for tonight?
I mean, they've got some microwave scores, so if you're drawing up the path for them to win, it's similar to Cincinnati in the fact that if Iowa State lets them hang around and doesn't play their style of basketball, they've got shot makers if they can keep it close.
56 offense, 143 defense for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, and that passed the eye test. Isaiah Johnson, true freshman, he's top 10 in the Big 12 in scoring. Really good player. Ron Sheik, or however you say it now, I don't know. I know Bloom was saying
it's Rancic. That's how we knew it, but
I think it's Ranchik now is how they say it on the broadcast.
He's a good player.
He's a sophomore now, and he
nice player.
Certainly had a lot of moments as a freshman player. Dak is a freak inside, a lot of length. Like he's a tough player. So that's the way Colorado sticks in this game. The analysis is, this sounds really pretentious, but it's if Iowa State allows them to. And if Iowa State allows them to, I mean, this Colorado team, they trailed Texas Tech by 25 points in their building with 10 minutes left and had a shot to win it on the final possession of the game. So they can go on runs, they can get stops, they can make shots. It's just a matter of, for Iowa State, can Killian Torrey, can Blake Buchanan, can they sustain the level that they've been playing at the last two games? Because that's the key to everything. If they can be net positives out there again, Iowa State's going to win this thing by 20.
Interesting part here. The one thing that Colorado does pretty well is they take care of the basketball. They're just not a turnover prone team. So if you want to go strength on strength, that would be it when you're analyzing tonight's matchup. So they're the fourth best team in Big 12 play. I wiped out all of the non-conference stuff. I think at this point in the season, it's smarter to analyze that way. Colorado's fourth best when it comes to taking care of the basketball. Iowa State, on the other hand, defensively, is elite at forcing turnovers. So they're the second best in the Big 12. Where are they at right now nationally? Third best nationally. So, this Iowa State team, you can almost draw a straight line to success, and it matches up with are they forcing turnovers and are they getting in transition, because I say it all the time, that's where the Cyclones feast. And very simple. It's strength on strength tonight. Turnovers and taking care of the basketball for Colorado. And as you mentioned, they're going to have to make shots.
Yeah, and these matchups with the inferior opponents, you kind of like when their strength is not turning the ball over, because you'd like to think they walk into Hilton Coliseum, they're probably going to be overwhelmed. They haven't seen Houston yet, so that means they haven't seen a team like Iowa State as far as turning the ball over, and you hope you can get 3 or 4 takeaways early, go the other way, and then that's where it can get ugly.
I actually think too that the Thursday night crowd, I think it'll be a really good crowd tonight. I know it's not a sexy basketball game, but there's a little bit of
been locked inside for a week.
Yeah, I just do. I'm anticipating a ruckus crowd tonight for this Iowa State team after the 2 wins. And then, we kind of start to look ahead to an interesting game on Sunday. I just, you're going to be a double-digit favorite in Manhattan, and Jake will be there covering it for us here at Cyclone Fanatic. But it's still a difficult place to play. But get through that one, and you're at 20 wins and set up for the bulk of the schedule. So every game, I don't care what the point spread is. This is kind of my theme on the air. I'm just enjoying this, man. This is a lot of fun to go into a game with Iowa State having an opportunity to have 19 wins going into the month of February.
You know why it's going to be a ruckus crowd tonight?
Because it's a Thursday and everybody's drinking?
No, because I'm going to be in the stands.
I've heard this, yeah. Crazy.
First time all year. First time since...
You got your Torre shirt on?
I do. Welcome to the torture chamber.
That's a good shirt.
CycloneFanaticShop.com.
We also have the Milan Money shirt that you can check out.
Yep.
The best thing about how we do these is like that the guys help us design these things, and that we take a lot of pride in that. The Milan shirt is very unique. We've never done anything like that one.
But yeah, first time in Hilton in the stands, I think since the Marquette game last year. So I'm excited. Figured it's once a year. Gotta remember what it's like to be in the stands.
I understand that completely. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I will enjoy covering the game, and I will be here right after the game. And then, of course, we'll hand it over to the crew from CF After Dark for the post-game show right when I get off the air. But 6 o'clock tip, Iowa State, Colorado. And then the next game is on Sunday. Women play on Saturday against Central Florida. That's our upcoming schedule here on the pre- and post-game shows, courtesy of our friends at Karl Chevrolet.